This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Donald Trump has officially won the 2024 election. This comes after the results were certified by Congress today. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall.
And I'm Beth Jones. It comes 4 years after hundreds of Trump supporters attacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021, following the certification of President Joe Biden's victory. ABC's Perry Russum reports from Washington.
The outcome of the 2024 presidential election now official. Donald Trump declared the winner today. The votes counted, the results certified before a joint session of Congress.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Trump's opponent in the race, Vice President Kamala Harris, presiding over the constitutional formality.
Today, I did what I have done my entire career, performing my constitutional duties to ensure that the people of America, the voters of America, will have their votes counted.
The results certified in the same building attacked by Trump supporters 4 years ago. On January 6, 2021, Trump urged his supporters to march to the Capitol, telling his then Vice President Mike Pence to reject the results of the 2020 election that President Biden had won. Republican lawmakers today with no plans to mark the anniversary.
This is a great day for the country. We're going to certify the election of Donald J. Trump as the 47th president. That's our focus today.
The Department of Justice says more than 1,200 people have either pleaded guilty or were found guilty at trial for charges tied to the attack. Trump has promised to pardon some, calling them political prisoners. Today, Enrique Tarrio, the former leader of the Proud Boys, is asking Trump for a full pardon. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison for his role in the attack.
Pardoning the criminals who assaulted police officers and tried to halt the democratic process would be a dangerous endorsement of political violence.
In a letter to Trump, Tarrio's lawyer says his client is nothing more than a proud American who believes in true conservative values. Prosecutors say he helped rally his members ahead of January 6th to stop the transfer of power. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
The certification of the 2024 presidential election came and went peacefully, but some Mainers are still trying to make sense of how different the scene was in Washington, D.C. 4 years ago. Our Grace Blanchard shares more.
I can still remember 4 years ago, watching this kind of unfold and being in absolute shock.
It's been 4 years since thousands stormed the U.S. Capitol in a breach that stunned the nation. On that day, lawmakers were set to certify President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory, something that many Trump supporters were attempting to stop.
There's not much about American politics that shocks me, and that shocked me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this was happening, and I, in some ways, still can't believe it.
Despite how many eyes were on the events of 2021, UMaine's chair of political science suspects more Mainers were paying attention to the election certification ceremony this year than ever before.
What happened in Washington 4 years ago, it was unlike anything that had ever happened in Washington, D.C. for that process before. And so I think because of that, it naturally put more attention on the process that happened today, which looked nothing like what happened 4 years ago.
At least one known Mainer has been arrested on felony and misdemeanor charges for actions during the Capitol breach. Brewer says the question still remains, was 2021 an anomaly, or will the calm nature of this year's proceeding become the outlier in future elections?
Whether that will be the case 4 years from now and going forward beyond the next election into future elections, I don't think we can say the answer to that yet. I think everyone would hope that it would be more like today and that we'd never see what we saw in 2021 again, but unfortunately you can't say that.
Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, a Topsom man has been arrested in connection with a truck explosion in Swanville. 20-year-old Patrick Kane of Topsom was arrested after Maine State Police and the State Fire Marshal's office investigated an explosion in the back of a pickup truck parked at 1475 Swan Lake Avenue in Swanville. According to the Maine Department of Public Safety, the explosion occurred at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, January 5th. Kane was labeled a person of interest and detained by Maine State Police for questioning questioning by the fire marshal's office. Through multiple interviews, investigators gathered probable cause to arrest and charge Kane with arson and violating conditions of release, as Kane was out on bail for an arson charge from 2024. Kane was transported to Waldo County Jail and was denied bail, and the incident remains under investigation.
Over 170,000 signatures were submitted to the Secretary of State's office in an effort to get a voter ID referendum on the ballot. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has the story.
Obviously, this is pretty much a mandate from Maine people that they want to see voter ID as law of the land here in Maine.
As Secretary of State, my job is to uphold the law, but reading this bill, I have many concerns.
On Monday, supporters of a citizens' initiative to implement voter ID in Maine rallied support at the Hall of Flags. The grassroots effort gathered signatures at Maine's polling places during last year's elections, collecting around 170,000 voter signatures from almost 300 municipalities across all 16 Maine counties. Supporters say implementing law behind the initiative is common sense.
We have good elections here in Maine, but we can always improve. We can always strengthen. 36 other states already have voter ID. We're an outlier. We're behind on passing this common sense policy.
Secretary of State Shenna Bellows is Maine's top election official. She has also spoken out against implementing voter ID in the past and says people should do the research and read the law that would be implemented should the referendum pass.
The citizens' initiative presented to us today has so much more that is really problematic. It is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It contains many provisions that would limit absentee voting in our state.
Some of the ways that Bellows says the law would restrict voting access here in Maine includes eliminating ongoing absentee voting for seniors and people with disabilities, prohibits municipalities from including return postage, it would require that voters request absentee ballots earlier, and would implement new, burdensome requirements for election officials. Bellows adds, as long as the initiative has enough valid and certified signatures, the measure should appear on the ballot in November of this year, meaning the group behind the initiative, as well as those opposing the initiative, have the next 10 months to make their case to the Maine people.
Initially, we're going to have to do some fundraising, some organizing, some planning, strategy aspect, and then come summer and definitely in the fall, we'll have an active grassroots campaign, knocking on doors, making phone calls, making sure people are aware of the election and to get them out to vote.
At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, nearly 3 million current and former public employees will now be able to take full advantage of their Social Security benefits thanks to an act signed into law on Sunday. The Social Security Fairness Act, which was co-authored by Senator Susan Collins, will boost Social Security payments for teachers, first responders, postal workers, and other public service employees. The act increases payments by eliminating two provisions, the windfall provision and the government pension offset.
So what we're talking about here are earned Social Security benefits that were reduced because the person had a state pension, a public pension, and that simply is unfair. And that's what we're finally correcting.
Estimates from the Congressional Budget Office say eliminating those provisions could boost monthly payments by an average of $1,000.
Well, there's never a bad time to donate blood, but January might be the best time to do so. January is National Blood Donor Month. To celebrate the month and to give a special thank you to those who step up to give between January 1st and 26th, donors will be automatically entered for a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Red Cross Northern New England Communications Manager Dan Dowling says the giveaway is part of an effort to get more donors during a time of year that often sees lower turnout.
The start of the new year is often a challenging time to collect blood and platelets. We're coming off of the December holidays. Lots of folks were on vacation and didn't get the chance to donate. Also, we've got winter weather affecting parts of the country that impact blood drives. And this is a time of year when colds and flus go around as well, which impacts people's ability to go to blood drives and donate blood.
Scheduling an appointment is very easy. Just head to redcrossblood.org. There you can find a drive or donation center near you. A link to schedule an appointment can also be found under this story on our website. Of course, that is foxbangor.com.
All right, well, let's go ahead and peek outside for a first look at our forecast.
Thank you very much, Beth and Devin. Our first weather today is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, out there for today, we had some pretty clear skies, lots of sunshine out there, and some temperatures still below freezing, but it did feel probably above freezing with that sunshine out there. But winds are still breezy out there from the northwest, right around 14 miles per hour here in town, gusting near 20 to 25 at times. We see sustained winds around 21 miles per hour in Greenville, so we still have those windy conditions out there, actually making it feel a bit colder than it really is. So thankfully we had that sunshine out there for today. All right, we do have a chance to see a little bit of snow in our forecast going into tomorrow afternoon. Most of that is going to stay north, just south of Presque Isle near Clayton Lake area, but that is where your chances are for some snow tomorrow. Some that could linger into town. We may see a few flurries, but other than that, we are staying dry. For tonight, we can see those temperatures are going to be very cold again with some partly cloudy skies out there. Our lows have a possibility of dropping into the upper single digits for tonight. Beth and Devin.
Alrighty, Chase, thank you so much.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, Jody Hersey went to Hampton to highlight a group of volunteers that are making a big impact within the community.
This year, Versant Power celebrates 100 years of service to customers. The times have changed, but Versant's commitment to providing safe, reliable electricity still holds true. They've helped our communities grow and prosper, powering homes and businesses through the years. Their team is always there when you need them most, in the field and behind the scenes. Then, now, and into the future.
It's the Furniture Gallery's anniversary sale. Celebrate with us and save big. Queen mattresses as low as $198. Want to recline? Recliners start at just $298. Or upgrade to a power recliner for just $398. Reclining sofa and recliner, just $998. The Furniture Gallery anniversary prices don't stop there. Refresh your living room. Sofas starting at just $448. Complete your bedroom, 5-piece set for only $898. Support our main family-owned business and save money. The Furniture Gallery.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same family values. For over 100 years, AAA has been providing legendary service and has helped what it values most, its members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance policy with our competitive pricing. We offer you our support when you need it, whether it's questions about your policy or with our most trusted roadside assistance service. Visit AAA.com/insurance and find out how much you could save.
Does your vehicle need a little more work? Have an odd sound coming from somewhere? Bring it over to Jackson's Automotive in Old Town. We have the best technicians and offer a fair price. We also accept all aftermarket protection plans. Now, if you're unable to drive your vehicle to us, we can help you get it here. Also, if you'd like to protect your vehicle for years to come, we offer Wool Wax undercarriage protection. We're located at 546 Main Street in Old Town. Give us a call at 827-2676.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
A small but mighty group of volunteers is making a big impact in the Hampton community. As Jody Hersey tells us, they've opened a basement bookshop in the library that's attracting readers of all ages.
There's nothing finer than to see somebody light up when they find a book that they've been looking for or they haven't seen before.
Every Tuesday, the 5 to 7 volunteer members of a group called the Friends of Edith Dyer Library gather at the library in the Friends Bookshop, a basement bookstore for used books, CDs, and DVDs. Here, they are able to sort through all the donations from community members, organize those used items, and then place them up for sale for others to enjoy.
So instead of having a once or twice a year event, we are open whenever the library is open, and people are welcome to come down here and browse.
This operation has been in the works for the past 17 years, and in that time, the group has been able to use the funds from this small bookshop to enhance the library with new furniture, lighting to display art from local artists, a new puzzle table, and even tickets to the Children's Museum and Penobscot Theater in Bangor.
We are all passionate about books and reading and giving back to the community.
This basement bargain shop has been a godsend for people like Sarah Ingraham of Winterport.
I love being able to come down here and look for my students. I'm a teacher down in Winterport, so we can get some really great deals on children's books down here that are high quality that I can then share.
The Friends of the Edith Dyer Library is always looking for new volunteers, as well as donations to keep readers coming back again and again.
It's hidden, so not everybody knows it's here, and everybody should know it's here.
In Hamden, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, the town of Herman held a custom that dates back to 1909, and as they honor this year's Boston Post cane recipient.
And in sports, the Patriots and head coach Jerod Mayo are going their separate ways, less than 1 full year since announcing his hiring. That story is right after the break.
Whoa! With this online-only deal from Buffalo Wild Wings Go, you get 20 boneless wings and fries for $16.99. That's enough to feed you and like 2 friends. Or 1 if you're selfish. And I am selfish.
Don't get cold feet this winter. Stay warm and dry with high-performance footwear from Comfort Shoes and More. With an extensive selection of winter boots rated from 0 to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll find comfort in knowing your feet will be warm in any weather. Discover the latest in functional and fashionable footwear with grippers built right into the sole. With boots in stock up to 6E and size 17 for men and women. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
Unexpectedly true. Maine is the only state that has just 1 syllable. A lobster can taste with its legs and chew with its stomach. And while most people can't lick their own elbow, 85% of Mainers who buy health insurance through CoverMe.gov pay less than the sticker price for their plan. Here you can search options, choose a plan that works for you, and see how much you could save. You have until January 15th, 2025. A plan that fits, a price that works. We've got you covered at CoverMe.gov.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Whoa! With this online-only deal from Buffalo Wild Wings Go, you get 20 boneless wings and fries for $16.99. That's enough to feed you and like 2 friends. Or 1 if you're selfish. And I am selfish.
It's been less than 365 days, but the New England Patriots are beginning a search for their next head coach once again. Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. After finishing the season 4-13, the same record as last year, the Patriots have fired head coach Jerod Mayo after just 1 season. The Patriots winning their final game of the season Sunday over the Bills, and shortly after, the announcement came that Jerod Mayo would not be back for a second season. These videos from his introductory press conference that last January. Patriots chairman and CEO Robert Kraft addressing the media Monday, taking accountability for everything.
This whole situation is on me. I feel terrible for Jerod because I put him in an untenable situation. It was one of the more difficult things I've had to do in my life because I had such affection for him.
Kraft says his job is now to hire a coach to bring the Pats back to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. While Mayo was his hand-picked successor to Bill Belichick, he didn't even last a full 12 months in the job. Kraft says the team's regression since their Week 1 victory had a lot to do with that.
I don't like losing. I don't like losing the way we lost. And just things were not developing the way we would have liked, and it was time to move on.
All right, they will begin the coaching search immediately. Let's hit the hardwood now. It was a good weekend for Maine women's hoops. They poured in 87 points in their home conference opener for a big win against Bryant, and now they are 2-0 to start America East play. Despite 2 major injuries this preseason, the Black Bears are now just one of 2 conference teams to open up play with 2 straight wins, Albany being the other. They posted a big second half and second quarter in their opener on the road at Lowell and followed it up with a dominant win against the Bulldogs at home. Head coach Amy Vachon credits a daunting non-conference schedule for preparing them for America East teams, but she also says everything is just more impactful when you get into league play, and everyone is feeling that.
Every game matters, you know, in our conference. If you want to host, you have to win, and so slip-ups can be really detrimental in the long run. And you know, there's something about conference. You ask anyone in any conference in the country, when you play a conference opponent, it means a little bit more. It's a little bit different because you see them all the time, and so I think that's just part of it.
Maine plays at Binghamton on Thursday and at Albany on Saturday. Staying on the hardwood now, was another terrific week for Maine's Cooper Flagg, who continues to tear it up with the Duke Blue Devils. For the second time this season, Flagg has been named the Atlantic Coast Conference's Player of the Week and their Rookie of the Week, sweeping those weekly honors. In 2 conference wins, Flagg averaged 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and 2.5 steals per game. It was his 5th time winning Rookie of the Week. Duke has now won 8 straight games. They are the 4th-ranked team in the nation. Let's go to the ice now. Maine hockey had a busy weekend at the Alphon, and it doesn't get any easier coming up. The 7th-ranked Black Bears hosted 6th-ranked Denver, the defending champs, and they split the weekend with the Pioneers. Maine fell on Friday night 2-1 after allowing a game-winning goal with just 20 seconds left on the clock. But on Saturday, though, the Black Bears would rebound. They tied the game 1-1, as you saw just there, before captain David Brazil netted the game winner. Maine remains at 7th in the nation after the 1 win and 1 loss. They have a weekend series at 8th-ranked UMass Lowell on Friday and Saturday. That is all the time we have for sports. Here's Chase Ropenack with your full 5-day forecast. Chase?
Thank you very much, Tyler. We can see temperatures out there are pretty cold. We can see some single digits, but here in town, 22 degrees, not too bad. Mid-20s by the coastal areas. We see 24 in Bar Harbor, 25 in Rockland, 28 in some areas down south as well. We see Greenville, though. It is a lot different a little bit farther north. 7 degrees right now in Greenville, 13 in Millinocket, and those cooler temperatures in those mid-upper teens are stretching up as far as Frenchville and the Holton area as well near Presque Isle. Temperatures tonight, though, are going to be possible in the single digits. It's showing 13 here on our graphs, but we're going to have some winds that are slightly calm out there, right around 5 to 10 miles per hour with some partly cloudy skies. We could have some clear skies, and that's where we can drop into the upper single digits here in town for tonight. Same with Millinocket, Monson, Wesley, Deer Isle, probably going to be a little bit warmer due to being right next to the coast, but Clayton Lake, expect some upper single digits as well for your guys' lows tonight. Tomorrow, though, we'll be right back into those mid-20s. Up north, we do have a chance for some snow showers, and we can see to the west, that is where the cooler air is going to be hanging out, where you're going to be right around those mid-teens to 20 degrees for highs tomorrow. All right, so our temperature trend shows our average high this time of year is 29 degrees. We're going to be a little bit below that throughout these next 2 days, but then we'll be above average going into the weekend. Friday, right around 35 degrees for your high, so just a little bit above freezing. Right around freezing going into your weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, looks like those highs will be right around 28 degrees, very close to average by then. So we can see winds out there right now from the northwest, gusting near 15 miles per hour here in town. 21 in Greenville, so some strong winds are out there right now, making those temperatures feel a little bit colder than they really are, and we are going to continue to see these throughout tonight going into tomorrow. 5 a.m. still right around 25 miles per hour in Dover Foxcroft, 32 in Dixfield to the west, so still dealing with some gusty winds tomorrow morning, and it's even going to get worse tomorrow afternoon, right around 6 to 7 o'clock in the evening. 37 mile per hour gusts near Dover Foxcroft, so that could definitely touch up to 40 miles per hour, so we are not done with this wind just yet. But out there for today, clear skies, we had sunshine, that definitely made temperatures feel a little bit warmer than they really are out there, but the wind out there definitely didn't help at all. But we will have some snow possible in our forecast for tomorrow afternoon. Most of that is going to stay up north. We see just south of Presque Isle near the Clayton Lake area. That is where you have some chances for some snow showers for tomorrow. And then going into Wednesday afternoon, we do have some more snow showers from the north traveling south. By Wednesday night, they can make it into our region. That's when we can see a few snow flurries here in the Bangor and coastal areas. All right, for tonight, though, we're staying dry, partly cloudy and breezy. Wind winds right around 10 to 15 miles per hour from the north. Our low tonight is right around 9 degrees. For tomorrow, we got a high right around 25, mostly cloudy. Snow showers for tomorrow, but most of those will stay up north. Winds from the northwest gusting near 25 miles per hour. Taking a look at our extended forecast, we can see we have some snow chances the next few days. Going to Wednesday, those snow chances will arrive late here in town. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we are going to stay dry. Temperatures warming into those mid-30s by Friday with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy Sunday, or rather Saturday, with temperatures really close to freezing. Beth and Devin?
Thank you, Chase.
All right, we'll be right back.
Chauffeur, part-time scientist, wardrobe designer.
I think I'd rather be an astronaut.
And the family CEO? Don't worry, with My Hannaford Rewards, you've got this in the bag. Because you can save big on the items you always buy, with personalized coupons plus 2% rewards on all our store brands. Savings that really add up.
Something smells good.
It's in the bag at Hannaford Supermarkets.
Whoa.
When a big storm hits and damages our electrical system, we have a planned approach to get the most customers restored at a time.
We begin by assessing the scope of the damage and helping first responders address emergency situations like down lines across roads.
Then, before you see us in your neighborhoods, power restoration begins at our substations. From there, power travels long distances over these transmission lines.
They're next on the repair list, followed by the lines in your neighborhood.
As we work to bring the most customers online at a time, we'll keep you updated throughout the process. Please remember to report your outage either online or by calling us at 973-2000.
Please stay safe while we work hard to get your power back on.
When it's time to replace your windows or doors, get the benefits of over 75 years of experience in building product sales and service from Hammond Lumber Company. In-store showroom displays with the latest design trends from top manufacturers. Knowledgeable, fully trained salespeople and in-house design services. A team of certified techs providing service after the sale, and job site delivery from 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. When it's time for new windows and doors, it's time to bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Herman's oldest resident received special recognition on Monday. Garrett Lovett lived on the Bond Road in Herman for decades, and he and his wife had 9 children. Now the 98-year-old is at Winterberry Heights Senior Living in Bangor, but the change in address didn't prevent Herman's town manager from awarding Lovett with the Boston Post cane. It's a tradition that was created back in 1909 by the publisher of the Boston Post newspaper to honor the town's oldest citizen.
As the town manager of Herman, I'm representing the council, and we're giving you the recognition of the Town of Herman Representative Certificate as a symbolic representative to Garrett Lovett Sr. as the oldest citizen of the town of Herman.
Well, I'm an exception. I feel like an exception because not everybody gets something like this, and I'm surprised and happy.
Lovett said one of his grandsons really wants him to turn 100 years old. He's got just 2 years to go until he reaches that milestone.
And we'll certainly be waiting to celebrate that milestone hopefully when he makes it there. Well, there is something special going on in the town of Bucksport, and the police department is definitely a suspect. A clothesline is now hanging in the entryway of the public safety building. On it, there are scarves and mittens for anyone that needs them to take. The cold weather has officially kicked in, and that led dispatcher Amy Reynolds to start working on these much-needed warm items. And while you're there, you can also pick up information for community help like the food pantry and heating assistance. So a nice gesture there and a good opportunity for folks to pick up an accessory or two.
They look really fashionable.
They do look great. Yeah, they look nice, thick, warm.
Sturdy.
You need that solid hat in that nasty wind we've been seeing the last couple days.
That's for sure.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC7, have a great rest of your night.
And for more of your local news, you can join us over on Fox 22 News Tonight at 6:30.
week, President Jimmy Carter's legacy and the final goodbye, plus certifying the presidential election as the 119th Congress gets set to tackle a new agenda. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Trying to meet with her on my lunch hour and she didn't show.
You don't get paid for that.
She stood me up at least 7 times.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $565.
What about the
We're done.
harassment?
Your Honor, I have
Harassment at 11 o'clock at night.
Harassment?
Came to my house.
These are excused. You may step out. Quiet.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
They claim that I was harassing them. They just said that there was harassment trying to collect on a debt that she said that she would pay me back.
Because she would show up at 11 o'clock at night and then show up at 6 o'clock in the morning and kept blowing my stuff up.
She was more than a friend. She was a sister to me. She lived with me when I was younger.
Because she was a close family friend. She said, I understand you have kids. Here you go.
It's absolute betrayal. I can't believe she did this to me.
I think it's ridiculous because she gave it to me as a gift so I could pay my bill off, and I had extra money, so I paid on some of my friends' court issues, and I think it's crap.
I don't know how far our friendship will go as far as being repaired after this.
It's done.
I will not be borrowing her money again.
Because if she wants to be rude, guess what? It's not worth keeping.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
A winter storm walloping many across the U.S., including those in the nation's capital. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall.
And I'm Beth Jones. While folks were advised to stay home, Congress, on the other hand, convened to certify the results of the 2024 election. Fox's Rebecca Castor reports from Capitol Hill.
A winter storm not keeping lawmakers away from the Capitol today to certify the results of the 2024 election.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes.
Vice President Harris making it official, overseeing the certification of her loss to President Trump in the 2024 election.
I did what I have done my entire career, which is take seriously the oath that I have taken many times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The GOP now one day closer to being able to enact the president-elect's agenda.
What he wants to ensure is that we deliver